So, most overrated chapters for IAT2026, especially for PCM students and also for those Faki batch PCB students. So, let's get started. So, if you are preparing for IAT 2026, especially as a PCM student, then one of the biggest mistakes you are doing, I guess, right now is preparing chapters like which consume huge amounts of time but actually will give you the least return in that exam. So this is the biggest mistake PCM students do, because they will blindly follow the NEET pattern, which is very different from IIT or NEST. So in this video, I'll tell you which chapters are actually overrated for IIT preparation, why they are dangerous time traps, and you should not study them. A lot of students, they blindly follow the NEET pattern, and that's exactly where they are stuck. So in this video, I'll tell you which chapters you should actually avoid, because those are most overrated, you can say, and which chapters you should read instead of them. So let's get started. I have already made the list, so I'll read from there. If you have any doubts, just ask me in the comment section. Okay, so the chapter I'll start with is Plant Kingdom. Now, why it's overrated, I'll state first, because huge memorization. Then you have to also have much retention power for that, and there are confusing life cycles and endless examples and classifications. Like, you will just study today, you'll forget tomorrow, so it's better to avoid that. And problems for PCM students is that they'll feel disconnected from logic, requires repetitive memorization, and also they'll invest a lot of time. Instead of spending like 8 to 10 hours over here, you can go for ecosystem, reproductive health, biotechnology. These chapters, why? Because they are much shorter and more MCQ friendly. I've already made a detailed video on this topic, like how to tackle biology in the last month, so you may just go and watch that. I think that will be quite helpful for you. Let's move on to the next chapter. So chapter 2, that's the amazing chapter, like the most amazing one, but please avoid, please. Like, it's Animal Kingdom. I think with my hint you had already understood, so please avoid Animal Kingdom. Why it's dangerous for crash preparation? I'm telling you, there are tons of phyla characteristics, scientific terminology overload, very memory dependent. Like, this chapter will give you the illusion of preparation because you keep reading, but retention is terrible, I'm telling you. Better alternative, you can do human physiology selective chapters. I have stated already in the previous video, I stated that organisms and populations, or like the genetics basics. These will give you better conceptual payoff. Third chapter, which is morphology of flowering plants. Now, why students underestimate it? Because at first it will look small, but then floral formulas, modifications, family characteristics, terminology, they will start piling up. And the main issue is questions are often detail based, and one forgotten term can ruin the answer. Because in case of family formulas, in that case what they'll do is they'll give you the closest options. Like, for example, you will forget which is bisexual, which is unisexual, which is actinomorphic, and which is not, and you'll forget one term. As I stated, one forgotten term can ruin the entire answer. You'll try to give it by case, and suddenly you'll come out of the exam hall and find that the other one is correct. So that will take away your confidence. Leave that. So better alternative is plant growth and development. It is like much more manageable because there are hormones plus direct factual questions, so better retention. Chapter number 4, full molecular basis of inheritance. Because I am not saying this chapter is unimportant. It's actually one of the most important chapters, but for last minute or PCM focused preparation, extremely dense, terminology heavy, time consuming. So don't go for the chapter, PCM students, please, like not at this point. Okay, so the smarter approach you can do is, if you actually want to study, like you have already heard from your friends, like PCB friends, that this chapter is very important. So what you can do is, you can do selected study. For that, I am giving you 4 topics. First, central dogma, replication basics, transcription P6, genetic code P6. Skip details initially. That's it. So I have also listed down the biggest mistakes students can make is students, they actually prepare for IAT as if they are appearing for NEET exam once again, but that's inefficient because IAT is actually a mixed exam. Like I have already stated in my previous video that if you follow the NEET preparation strategy, that will work. That worked for me. I'll not lie, that worked for me because I didn't go for mocks for IAT or so. I did with whatever preparation I had for NEET. If you're strong in physics, chemistry and maths, your biology strategy should focus on easy attempts, high yield concepts and fast scoring chapters. Now I told you that don't study this overrated chapters, but I also stated that I'll give you alternatives. So chapters that I would recommend that you should study instead. Why? Because they have high retention. Okay, so from class 12 they are reproductive health, ecosystem, biotechnology, both the chapters, principles and processes and also applications, organisms and populations, selective portions of genetics. I have already stated in my previous video. Class 11, neural control and coordination, chemical coordination, breathing and exchange of gases, body fluids and circulation, excretion. That's it. Now, final advice that I would like to give you, do not try to become a NEET biology topper overnight, okay? Because your goal in IIT is not scoring 360 in biology. Your goal is increasing attempt, improving elimination ability, and gaining enough biology marks to support your PCM score. That strategy is much more realistic for PCM students, I'm telling you. So that's it. Please do like, share, comment and subscribe if it helps. Bye bye. See you in the next video. All the best.